Hey there, everybody. This morning we are going through my process to tea and coffee dye or stain papers. I use these papers in the books that I make. I use them for note cards. I use them for the pocket letters that I make. I'm always making these tea dyed, coffee dyed, stained papers. And a lot of people have said, "Hey, how do you do that?" It's really simple. For me, it's not a process at all. We drink a lot of tea, so I make tea at least a couple times a week. And we also drink coffee in the morning. We'll be drinking more coffee as the weather cools down here. Usually we have a pot of coffee at night as well. So I've got my tea bags. These are still damp because I just made tea downstairs. And of course, we just had coffee this morning, and the coffee filter and the coffee grounds are damp. Let's talk about the paper that we're going to use. Basically, you can use any kind of paper you want. I really do like mixing it up. This is what my dog food comes in. So to me, these things are very handy. I like to use them for coffee dyeing and tea dyeing. Okay, we'll turn it this way. I love to use notebook paper. To me, notebook paper is just like this underutilized craft tool. These are 8.5 by 11 pieces of just regular copy paper. So, I like to use those in the bottom because they're very absorbent. So the next thing that goes in are my notebook papers. Sometimes I leave them just like they are, and then sometimes I fold them. And then sometimes I give them a little crunchy. So this one's going to be a little crunchy. Notebook paper is amazingly resilient, isn't it? So we'll just kind of fold that one up. And, it will have some nice striations, I think is what it's called, when it is dyed. So there we go. I also really love to use envelopes, but I don't have any envelopes at the moment because I have used them all. I keep all my junk mail envelopes and put them in the box as well. Love to use index cards. So we'll scatter those around like that. I also really do like to use pages from old journals. The cool thing is, if you can find one that's been written on that's not personal, you can, that just adds like an extra little layer of fun too. So there we go. We're just continuing with our layers. It's our paper lasagna. I did lasagna gardening this year, another epic year of garden fail, because we still have not gotten rid of the groundhog. Basically it's the groundhog, plural, the groundhogs, the birds, the squirrels just decimated the garden. But I did try that lasagna thing, and it worked for a couple days because I could really see the sprouting and, the growing of things in the garden. I got really excited. That was silly of me, I know, but I did try. The only thing that grew down there were marigolds. And I had like stellar marigolds, so it was, not quite a whole lost cause there. All right, now let's go ahead and layer our tea bags and coffee filter on. I like to leave the tags, of course, on the tea bags because, ta-da, you are tea dyeing the tea tags, and that is pretty cool. I like to kind of press these things into the paper, so we're kind of getting a little bit of, that awesome tea thing going on here. And then usually I put the coffee filter in, just like that. More tea bags. I'm real lucky, y'all, because I have a sunroom. And it works really well to draw these things out. If you don't have a sunroom, another really nice place to have a tea dye, coffee dye paper box is on top of your dryer. Now watch that, because sometimes dryers do get quite hot. But that works out really well too. In the wintertime, a lot of times when I am doing things like blankets and, big, heavy kind of things and using my dryer quite often, I will put this box arranged like this on top of my dryer. Let's talk about how things look afterwards. This is a sample of coffee dyed, tea dyed, stained index card. The fun thing about doing it like this, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't snoop around it. Don't move it too much, because this is where like the fun magic happens. You'll get lawns like this, to me, that look like, horizon lawns or cityscapes. I like to look at these. It's kind of like a Rorschach sort of thing that you get going on here. You can see how this one came out. Again, it kind of looks like mountains or treetops. You just got some beautiful staining that goes on with this process. What I like to do with the coffee filters, after they have dried out, I will take the coffee and compost it. Then I take the filter and I clean it up. So I'll brush it and I'll run it under some tap water, and we get these really pretty dyed filters. Now, this is kind of like recycling on steroids. It is taking something that you have used. You're going to use the bags and the filters to tea and coffee dye, and then you're going to recycle the grounds. When I take the tea bags out, I recycle, repurpose, put the tea grounds in my garden, so we're composting that as well. So just a little look. I've been asked, a lot about how I create my papers. I think we all find a method that works for us. So whatever your method is, don't think you're doing things wrong because there are literally a zillion ways to do this. And I think it's really important that we don't create an environment of, well, you got to do it this way or you got to do it that way. It is really important to find your own way, find your own path, find your own process that you are comfortable with and that brings you joy. This is mine. Thanks for listening, y'all. See you later. Bye.